Hello everybody, this is Cappy64 back yet again in another video, and in this video, I'm here to give you guys my recommendation on which LABO kit you should get if you were to be picking up a Nintendo LABO set. Okay, so first off, I just kind of want to say this, and I know it's going to sound incredibly weird, but hear me out, okay? So pretty much, I do not currently own the Nintendo LABO pack. Yes, I know, that's very strange, but you know, I'm just pretty much giving you guys my thoughts, you know, just like what I'm thinking, you know, and this is based off what everyone else is saying, you know, not just like, you know, I see it and this is like all my thoughts. I'm just like, I'm basing this off of like what everybody else is saying. If you want like more of an in-depth like analysis and just explanation on why I chose this set over the other set, then just go ahead and watch like Nintendo Live's video or Game Explain's video, okay, because they explain it much better, and those are where I got most of my information from. Okay, so pretty much the set, okay, so the set, if you were to be picking up a Nintendo LABO kit, the set that I'd recommend you beginning out of the Variety Kit and the Robo Kit, or Robot Kit, whatever it's called, the one I would recommend is the Variety Kit, okay, because here's the thing, while there is a lot more in the Variety Kit, like I've heard there's a lot more variety just in the Variety Kit, okay? Because like with the Variety Kit, if you don't like one thing, then, you know, there's like all the other things. Meanwhile, with the Robo Kit, if you don't like the robot, then you're either gonna have to adjust, or you're just kind of like, you know, you really don't have anything, okay? You just have the $70 giant robot thing just sitting in your room just to collect dust, and just not even collect dust, just to be sitting there, okay, just to take up space. Meanwhile, with all the other Variety Kit stuff, like, you know, if you don't, let's say, like, you don't like the, the house, like, what if you don't like the house? Let's say you don't like the house, okay? Then you can go to the piano, or maybe you're just bored with, let's just say the piano, and then you want to go over to the house that you may like, you may not like, I don't know. You know, because then you could, like, instead of just being, like, stuck on one thing, then you can just, like, jump back and forth between everything else, just in case you're, like, bored or something. And along with that, you know, there's more, like, just stuff, you know, in general. Like, you know, when it comes to the Robo Kit, I would imagine it takes a few hours to build the entire thing, okay? And while I know that, building time, people may prefer it to be shorter, in my personal opinion, I'd honestly prefer it to be like a little bit longer, you know, so I'm getting a little bit more of my money's worth, and so that there's a lot more just in it than just like building one thing and that's the entire thing, you know? Because like, with me, like for my own personal preferences, like, I mean, if I, like, enjoyed building, let's say, the piano, or actually, let's just say the Robot Kit, then I may just be like, you know, oh, where's the next thing I can build? And then, you know, I'm kind of let down, because then there's really nothing else left for me to build. Meanwhile, with this Variety Kit, once again, it's short as well, there's also that. So if you don't like the long, extended building times, then you can also just keep in mind that the building times are a lot shorter than the robot building thing, okay? And while I've heard they're about, like, they take up to 2 to 3 hours per each thing, I'm not sure about the Robot Kit, but, you know, it's just, I don't know, I just kind of prefer it, you know, because, like, then there's just so much more to build, you know, and there's just so much more to do, and there's just so much more variety in general, you know, and yeah, and along with that, another thing, okay, so another thing I want to add on to this is with the Robo Kit, okay, so if you want to be playing, like, multiplayer or play with somebody else, and also, here's another, I'll come back to that, I just kind of popped in my head, but, like, if you want to do multiplayer with, let's say, like, another person, for whatever reason, then the other person would have to have the Robo set as well, and, like, what if they don't have it? Then you're just basically, like, left with, you know, you just having the Robo set, and they don't have it, you know, it's just like, you know, just a kind of a bad situation to say the least. And I guess you could say the same thing about the Variety Kit, like if they don't have the Variety Kit, then that's also an issue. But like, you know, if they don't have the Variety Kit, then it's not like they have to, like, take everything off. Like with the Robo set, you have to take off the headgear, the back thing, the shoes, all that stuff. Meanwhile, with, like, the Variety Kit, like, if they don't have the Variety Kit and you want to do multiplayer, you really can't really do that. Actually, you can probably do that with the racing game, I believe so. I'm not sure if there's a multiplayer, I have no idea, but, you know, like, when it comes to just, like, somebody else coming over and you want to play with the LABO, then you could, like, take turns with the piano or take turns with the house and just enjoy, you know? It's not like, you know, you're gonna have to be taking off the entire set so that everybody has a chance to play. You can just, like, move the, let's say, the piano, and then you can play it and they can play it, or you can play it together, you know? It's a much preferred concept in my opinion. And back to the thing I was thinking about that just kind of popped up in my head a second ago, and it's about the Joy-Cons, okay? So with the Joy-Cons, while it may be a bit of a pain to kind of just, like, disattach and reattach all the Joy-Cons to all the different things in the variety set, I mean, with the Robo set, it's like you have to have a certain amount of Joy-Cons. Like, I'm not sure on the certain amount. Once again, I really don't know too much about this LABO stuff. I still have to probably do my research. I probably should have done more research before I did this video, to be honest. But with the Robo set, you, like, have to have, like, I believe it's like 4 to 6, you know, 4 to 6 different Joy-Cons, you know? And that means, like, exclusively Joy-Cons. You can't have the Pro Controller, obviously. You have to have the Joy-Cons, and that's all you can really use, you know? And that's a huge issue, because, like, what if, like, you don't have, goodness, sorry, like, what if you don't have enough Joy-Cons for that Robo set? Then you have to go out there and spend, like, let's say $70 to $140 extra dollars. Or, like, what if your Joy-Cons broke and you only had a Pro Controller? Like, that'd really be bad. That'd be terrible, okay? And once again, you could say the same thing about the variety set, but with the variety set, like, you could just, like, you know, if you didn't happen to break the Joy-Cons, and, you know, you still had the Joy-Cons, you know, the original Joy-Cons from when you first got the Switch, then, for the most part, you're in luck, because with the multiplayer, you're covered because you can use one Joy-Con per each, let's say, vehicle in that one racing game, or with the piano, you can just put the one Joy-Con there and the one Joy-Con over there, you know, and it's just much less of a pain, you know, it's just a lot less expensive, or just a lot less costly, you know, so it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm explaining that properly, but, like, you know, just, like, with the Robo, let me just say this, okay? Maybe I'm explaining it better when I say this, but, like, Robo set requires minimum of, like, let's say 5 Joy-Cons. Meanwhile, each variety set thing, it doesn't require 5 per each one. It requires, like, 1 to 2, maybe even 3 or 4 per each one. So, you know, it doesn't require you to have, like, extra, you know, custom or just variant Joy-Cons, you know? And that's really just, like, much nicer of a thing to keep in mind, goodness. And yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching if you made this far into the video. If you haven't already, press that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest Nintendo-related news. All that being said, I hope to see you guys next time in another video. Also, that format, it's still in the process. I'm very close to being done. I already have, like, the video format planned out. I've been working on this intro for the past 3 months. That's what's been taking up the most amount of time. But for the most part, everything else is taken care of, and I believe that I will probably have this thing ready in, let's say, by mid-May, okay? Let's just make that a date, okay? Or just like, what do you want to call it? I don't know, just a checkpoint or whatever you want to call it, just for when the thing will be ready and when I'll start uploading more, okay?